As the seasons change, so can our creativity. Today, I want to talk about releasing creative blocks. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I want to talk about releasing creative blocks. That is something that happens to each and every one of us from time to time, whether it has to do with the season or lack of inspiration, a huge variety of reasons. Going through the process of trying to release that block, trying to let go, trying to unwind and reconnect with your creativity can seem overwhelming, but it is something that I think you can take some proactive steps to working through. And I'm really excited to share some of those with you as I do a little bit of art journaling today. I'm really excited because this topic definitely ties into our topic for Patreon in the month of April. Patreon in April is all about creative renewal. We are focusing on the color orange, and we are going with the theme of Orange You Inspired. It's going to be such a fun month of digging into some fun activities that are kind of out of our comfort zones, trying new things. It's going to be great, and I cannot wait to tell you a little bit more about it at the end of the video. But first, I want to kind of dive into talking about creative blocks. If you are experiencing a creative block, or you might be experiencing just this feeling that you're running on empty, that there's no creativity there, that there's just nothing, no inspiration, you are not alone. We've all been through it. And like I said before, there's a variety of reasons. It can have to do with feeling burned out. You might be working really hard in certain aspects of your life, whether it's work or home or family, whatever it is, and you might just be feeling burned out in general, and it's really hard to tap into creativity at that point. You might be feeling a little bit paralyzed. Maybe you are inspired to create, but as soon as you start to create, you have these perfectionist tendencies that come in and kind of stop you. They stop you before you start. You're thinking, I can't even do the things I'm seeing online. I can't do that. And the I can't is like this huge wall that goes up and keeps you from even starting and trying. That's a block. And it's not necessarily something we think of as a creative block because you want to try, you are inspired to try, but you're scared. Then there are those times when you aren't feeling very inspired. Things might have you feeling down, whether you feel down because of some things that are happening in your life, whether the news has you feeling down, whether the weather has you feeling down. If you are feeling a little bit I don't know, lackadaisical, uninspired, that is definitely a block. And it just feels like so much effort to try to do a creative project. And you're not really feeling in the flow anyway. So you kind of put it to the side and it starts to atrophy. That's what happens when you are not actively trying to reconnect to your creativity. It gets harder and harder. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Some easy ways that you can kind of actively get into your creativity in simple, approachable ways that can really start to get the juices flowing again. Okay, so what I would like to do is actually do a little bit of art journaling with you right now. And I want to talk to you about some ways that I use these techniques, this art journaling, to get the creativity flowing. And I thought I would bring you guys along. So I'm going to flip you around. I'm going to put you on fast forward. Let's create. Okay, so my first tip for releasing a creative block is really embracing this change of seasons. As nature changes, it can really spark some fresh ideas. So, for instance, I'm starting out here with some beautiful colors of a sunrise, and I just love sunrises this time of year as things are starting to go from the gray dreariness of winter, and we're starting to see some little peaks of spring coming. And I just love the idea of seeing the sun rise on a fresh season. Really engage all of your senses in this new season. Look around, take some walks, take in the new colors, the beautiful sense of florals, the textures. Go out and experience these things in person, that is going to make a huge impact, A, on your mental health in general, and B, just on bringing you some fresh ideas. Then, once you have started to take in these new ideas, bring them into your space. Grab yourself a fresh bouquet of flowers. Get a new candle scent. Do something that is bringing the outside into your space and really allowing you to immerse yourself in that new season. Changing things up like that, engaging all your senses as opposed to just going back to the same things you're used to doing all the time, can really start to trigger some new inspiration, and the creativity will really start to flow. Now, along with those new scents and new inspirations that you are bringing into your space, I also want to encourage you to try working with some new colors. Over on Patreon throughout 2025, we are exploring a new color each and every month and kind of challenging ourselves to use that color in new ways. We've done red, magenta, and light pink, and now April is going to be the color orange. My guess is that when I say orange, maybe one of the first thoughts you have is Halloween. That was certainly my thought. But when I was thinking through Patreon this year and trying to figure out what colors could go where, how we could progress through a rainbow throughout the whole year, I loved the idea of focusing on some colors that we are not used to using as the main event in different parts of the year. Yes, we're used to orange in the fall. We're used to orange leaves. We're used to the pumpkins. But what about using orange as a trigger or as a nod to energy? Really, orange has a lot of energy behind it. And I think the spring has a special kind of energy behind it. So really the psychology behind the color orange, it is triggering to enthusiasm, energy, creativity, just a lot of good new things. And when you're talking about renewal, when you're talking about creative inspiration, I think orange is one of those colors that really can spark something different. Playing with new colors, working with new colors is a fabulous way to kind of get things going, looking at the world, looking at your art, looking at your planner, looking at your journal from a different perspective. Okay, so at this point, you've gone outside, you've gathered some new inspiration, you're playing with new colors, but what are some really practical tips that you can use to overcome creative block? Let me share some with you. First of all, I want you to shake up your routine. That can look like a few different things. Perhaps you are used to working in your planner. You decorate your planner every Sunday afternoon. That's been your routine forever. And it's just recently, you just haven't been really inspired to do it. What if you even just simply changed the day that you work on your planner? What if it was a Saturday morning instead of a Sunday afternoon? What if it was an evening during the week? Try some different times of the day to engage in your creativity as opposed to what you would normally do. I think a lot of us wait for our creative activities till the end of the workday. What if you got up a little bit earlier and tried it first thing in the morning? Really just changing up your routine, working with different materials instead of being in your planner all the time, maybe trying some mixed media, which we definitely plan to do in the month of April over on Patreon, which I'm pretty darn excited about. But changing up what you do on a normal basis, altering your routine can really start to shake out some of those cobwebs. Also, try to give yourself some creative warm-ups. Now, you just saw me use a stencil here. Stencils are wonderful. So just tracing some simple patterns with a stencil and then filling them in, just the act of doing can help a lot. Give yourself time to, instead of jumping straight into a project, do a few quick doodles. Even if they're terrible, it still can be fabulous. Form a pattern with paint pens or markers. Have fun with those. Start to create mood boards for things that are inspiring you this month or things that you are loving. Every month we do a vision board over on Patreon in our Create books, which for me is a wonderful way to kick off each and every month to kind of think through the things that I'm looking forward to this month. And it gets me excited for the month ahead, which I absolutely love. Now, we also already talked about just hunting for inspiration, going outside. Now that the seasons are changing, that is a wonderful thing to do. Even just roaming the stores. I know that sounds a little silly, but taking some time to walk around a Home Goods, a Target, taking in the new things that are available can start to inspire you and get you excited to go home and to create or try to recreate some of the things that you are seeing. And lastly, something we talk about a lot and work on over in Patreon is a mindset shift. Giving yourself freedom to be imperfect, creating projects that perhaps you don't feel are Pinterest worthy or Instagram worthy, but that bring you joy creating them. It's all about embracing that imperfection and really celebrating your creativity, however it comes out. That is one of the reasons I love having a creative community that you can go to for tips and tricks and just encouragement. I love seeing my patrons talk to each other through the Patreon chats and share their projects and just cheer each other on, which is absolutely fabulous. Now, for the month of April, like I said, our theme is creative renewal. Orange You inspired, which I love the play on the word orange. And we're going to try some fun new creative techniques to kind of get the juices flowing, get the creativity going for this new season of the year. The first thing that happens in the month is that I release the Create book for the month. This is a printable, think of it as a creative workbook that all the pink, yellow, green, blue, and purple tiers of Patreon receive. It's full of activities that we kind of work throughout the month as a community. Additionally, throughout the month on every Saturday, I will be releasing a mixed media challenge in order to encourage patrons to try some new things in their arts and crafts. I can't wait to see what they do with all the challenge prompts. As you move up in the tiers, when you get to the yellow tier, that gives you access to exclusive video content. In April, we have 9 exclusive videos that are covering a wide range of creative techniques, a lot of which will dabble in mixed media. And then as you move up the tiers to the green tier and blue tier and purple tier, you start to gain even more perks like stickers each month, exclusive live events like live streams and Zooms. It's such a fun community, and we would love to have you join us for a little expiration, a little renewal in the month of April. You can always find out more information about Patreon with the link below. It's at patreon.com/ScrappyWife. All the information on all of the different tiers and their perks are located. All that info is located over on that website. All right, I am hoping that this video inspired you to invite some more creativity into your life this spring and that it gave you some tips and tricks for busting out of some of those creative blocks that have been holding us down throughout this past season. Let me know down below, what do you like to do to bust out of those creative blocks, of those moments where you're just feeling uninspired? Let us know. Share some tips and tricks of your own down below. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you over on Patreon in April. Otherwise, I'll still catch you here on YouTube. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.